I actually got Secret Avengers number 9 today, so you know what that means. Review time. Okay, so this is part 4 of the 5-part Eyes of the Dragon story. This is right. It takes place after number 8, when, like I said, John Steele kidnapped Sharon Carter, and now she's captured. She's now a captive of the Shadow Council. And Steve Rogers and the rest of the Secret Avengers are off to save her. We also find out a bit more of John Steele, that Steve and him during World War II Steve Rogers and him didn't cope very well. They were brothers in arms, but they didn't get along. They weren't like friends or anything. So there's that. There's actually like this. There's more interesting little background on John Steele, because I never read Ed Brubaker's Marvels, so I couldn't tell you that. I couldn't tell you much more about John Steele, because you have to be like a fan of Marvels, of Ed Brubaker's Marvels, to understand this the character of John Steele. But I'm starting to think he's an interesting villain, because I never read it. And he's apparently a hero. And he was apparently the world's first official super soldier before Steve Rogers. So, there's all that. There's actually a little sparring match between Steve and Shang-Chi in here, but it kind of disappointed me, because, a little spoiler, Steve beat Shang-Chi in a sparring match. In a very quick sparring match, might I add. He beats him, and I was like, okay. But then it was like, then we had the huge fight we had actually this really cool fight. It wasn't like short or anything. It was like, to me, it felt like a perfect length, between John Steele and Steve Rogers. And I'm not going to spoil the ending for that, but it was it was a really cool fight. But it was short. It wasn't as short as the Shang-Chi and Steve Rogers sparring fight, but it was a good fight all around. So there's all that. So. The other thing is, too, in here, I'm not going to spoil it, but we find out what happened to Moon Knight. We find out where Moon Knight's been this entire story arc. We find out where he's been, what's he been doing, and it suddenly makes sense. It all makes sense. There's actually some good... This story's more based around Shang-Chi and Steve Rogers doing more stuff. The rest of the team just shows up, and fights the rest of the Shadow Council. But the only two people who do anything in this issue is just Shang-Chi and Steve Rogers doing most of the work. But issue 10, we're probably gonna see the whole team take on, because in the final story we get to see we're going to see Fu Manchu possibly being resurrected at the cost of Shang-Chi's life. This was good. I really enjoyed this issue. Secret Avengers still remains to be my favorite Marvel book. I'm still going to continue reading this book. I love it. People give it hate, but I'm like, it's adding more depth to the Marvel universe to me. We're seeing characters that don't really get a lot of attention these days, all led by Steve Rogers. I mean, we're getting Valkyries, and who thought this team would actually work? Of all these characters, I mean, we have War Machine, we have Valkyrie, we have Moon Knight, and the Beast, all working together in a team that should not work, but it does. So, this like I said, this book still remains to be my favorite Marvel book. So definitely pick it up. But if you want to start reading Secret Avengers, I really suggest you guys wait until issue 11 when the new story arc. Just hold out till issue 11 when we get a possible new story arc. But this has been a fantastic story. This was a good story. It was a little slow, I'm gonna admit, but it's not bad. And also the Steve Rogers and Shang-Chi fight, sparring match kind of put me off. But the John Steele when Steve Rogers and John Steele fought, I was amazed. I really enjoyed that fight. And I also give, and like I said, Mike Deodato's art, it still remains awesome. Like, he's probably one of the best comic book artists out there, and. Still, I'm really excited to see where the conclusion ends. I'm really hyped for the conclusion of this story, because, I mean, 5 parts. It's just been leading up to the end, and I can't wait for the end of this story. And I'm really And after the issue, I'm even more excited to see what happens next to the team. So definitely pick this book up. But like I said, wait till issue 11 and start from there. But this was great. I cannot wait for the next issue. But I think I've more or less said everything about this. You guys tell me what you think. And people who are Avengers fans, if you're a Marvel fan, if you're like a fan of even like Beast or Valkyrie or War Machine or the Eric O'Grady Ant-Man, which by the way is my favorite Ant-Man, pick this book up. It is good. Especially this has been really shining on the character of Shang-Chi, like I said, and especially for Shang-Chi fans, he's been like a major character since the second story arc began. And I know Shang-Chi hasn't been used in a long time. I mean, not since that one shot where he fought Deadpool. But definitely pick this book up. It's really worth your time.